Sorry about that. So Joseph brought all the land to Egypt and to the Pharaoh. Then Joseph said to his people, "Look, today I have bought you and your land for the Pharaoh. I will provide you with seed so you can plant the fields. Then when you harvest it, 1/5 of your crops will belong to the Pharaoh. You may keep the remaining 4/5 as a seed for your fields and as food for you, your households, and your little ones. You have saved our lives," they exclaimed. May it please you, my lord, to let us be Pharaoh's servants." Joseph then issued a decree, still in effect in the land of Egypt, that Pharaoh should receive 1/5 of all the crops grown on his land. Only the land belonging to the priests were not given to the Pharaoh. Meanwhile, the people of Israel settled in the region of Goshen in Egypt. Then they acquired property, and they were fruitful, and their population grew rapidly. Jacob lived for 17 years after his arrival in Egypt, so he lived 147 years in all. As the time of his death drew near, Jacob called for his son Joseph and said to him, "Please do me a favor, put your hand under my thigh and swear that you will treat me with unfailing love by honoring this last request. Do not bury me in Egypt. When I die, please take my body out of Egypt and bury me with my ancestors." So Joseph promised, "I will do as you ask." "Swear that you will do it," Jacob insisted. So Joseph gave his oath, and Jacob bowed humbly at the head of his bed. Jacob blesses Manasseh and Ephraim. One day, not long after this, word came to Joseph, "Your father is failing rapidly." So Joseph went to visit his father, and he took him to his 2 sons, Manasseh and Ephraim. When Joseph arrived, Jacob told him, "Your son Joseph has come to see you." So Jacob gathered his strength and sat upon his bed. Jacob said to Joseph, "God Almighty appeared to me at Luz in the Canaan and blessed me. He said to me, 'I will make you fruitful, and I will multiply your descendants. I will make you a multitude of nations, and I will give this land of Canaan to your descendants after you as an everlasting possession.' Now I am claiming my own sons, these 2 boys of yours, Ephraim and Manasseh, who were born here in the land of Egypt before I arrived. They were my sons just as Reuben and Simeon are. But any children born to you in the future will be my own, and they will inherit land within the territory of brothers Ephraim and Manasseh. Long ago I was returning from Padam Aram. Rachel died in the land of Canaan. We were still on our way some distance from Ephrath, this is Bethlehem. So with great sorrow I buried her there beside the road of Ephraim." Then Jacob looked over at the 2 boys. "Are these your sons?" he asked. "Yes," Joseph said. "These are my sons God had given me here in Egypt." And Jacob said, "Bring them closer to me so I can bless them." Jacob was half blind because of his age and could hardly see. So Joseph brought his boys close to him, and Jacob kissed and embraced them. Then Jacob said to Joseph, "I never thought I would see your face again, but now God has let me see your children too." Joseph moved the boys who were at their grandfather's knees, and he bowed with his face to the ground. Then he positioned the boys in front of Jacob. With his right hand he directed Ephraim towards Jacob's left hand, and with his left hand he put Manasseh at Jacob's right hand. But Jacob crossed his arms as he reached out to lay his hand on the boy's head. He put his right hand on the head of Ephraim, though he was the younger boy, and his left hand on the head of Manasseh, though he was the firstborn. Then he blessed Joseph and said, "May the God before whom my grandfather Abraham and my father Isaac walked, the God who has been the shepherd of all my life unto this day, the angel who has redeemed me from all my harm, may he bless these boys. May they preserve my name and the names of Abraham and Isaac, and may their descendants multiply greatly throughout the earth." But Joseph was upset when he saw that his father placed his right hand on Ephraim's head. So Joseph lifted it from Ephraim's head to Manasseh's head. "No, my father," he said, "this is the firstborn. Please put your right hand on the head." But his father refused. "I know, my son, I know," he replied. "Manasseh will also become a great people, but his younger brother will become even greater, and his descendants will become a multitude of nations." So Jacob blessed the boys that day with this blessing. The people of Israel will use your names when they give a blessing. They will say, "God, make us as prosperous as Ephraim and Manasseh." In this way Jacob put Ephraim ahead of Manasseh. Then Jacob said to Joseph, "Look, I am about to die, but God will be with you and will take you back into Canaan, in the land of your ancestors, and beyond what I have given your brothers. I am giving you an extra portion of the land that I took from Amorites with my sword and bow." Jacob's last words to his sons. Then Jacob called together all his sons, and he said, Gather round me, and I will tell you what will happen to each one of you when the day comes. Come and listen, you sons of Jacob. Listen to Israel, your father. Reuben, you are my firstborn, my strength, the child of my vigorous youth. You are ranked in your first power, but you are unruly as a flood, and you will be first no longer, for you went to bed with my wife, you defiled my marriage couch. Simeon and Levi are two of a kind, their weapons and instruments of violence. May I never join in their meeting. May I never be part of their plans, for in their anger they murdered men, and they crippled oxen just for sport. A curse in their anger, for it is fierce, a curse of the wrath, for it is cruel. I will scatter them among the descendants of Jacob. I will disperse them throughout Israel. Judah, your brothers will praise you. You will grasp your enemies by the neck. All your relatives will bow before you. Judah, my son, is a young lion that has finished eating its prey. Like a lion, he crouches and lies down like a lioness. Who dares to rouse him? The scepter will not depart from Judah, nor the ruling staff from his descendants, until the coming of one to whom it belongs, the one whom all nations will honor. He ties his foal to a grapevine, the colt of his donkey to a choice vine. He washes his clothes in wine, his robes in bloods of grapes. His eyes are as dark as wine, his teeth are as white as milk. Zebulun will settle on the seashore and will have a harbor for ships. His borders will extend to Sidon. Issachar is a sturdy donkey resting between two saddle packs. When he sees how good the countryside is and how pleasant the land is, he will bend his shoulder to the load and submit himself to the hard labor. Dan will govern his people like any other tribe in Israel. Dan will be the snake among the rows, a poisonous viper along the paths that bite the horse's hooves, so its rider is thrown off. I trust in you for salvation, O Lord. God will be attacked by marauding bands, but he will attack them when they retreat. Asher will dine on rich foods and produce food fit for a king. Naphtali is a doe set free that bears beautiful fawns. Joseph is the foal of a wild donkey, the foal of a wild donkey at the spring. One of the wild donkeys on the ridge. Archers attack him savagely. They shoot at him and harassed him, but his bow remained taut and his arms were strengthened by the hand of the mighty one of Jacob, by the shepherd, the rock of Israel. May the God of your father help you. May the Almighty bless you with the blessings of heaven above and the blessings of watery depths below and the blessings of breast and womb. May my father's blessings on you surpass to the blessings of my ancestors, reaching to heights of eternal hills. May these blessings rest on the head of Joseph, who is a prince among his brothers. Benjamin is a ravenous wolf, devouring his enemies in the morning and dividing his plunder into the evening. These are the 12 tribes of Israel, and this is where their father said as he told his sons goodbye. He blessed each one with an appropriate message. Jacob's death and burial. Then Jacob instructed them, Soon I will die and join my ancestors. Bury me with my father and grandfather in the cave of the field of Ephron and Hittite. This cave is in the field of Machpelah near Mamre and Canaan, that Abraham brought from Ephron and Hittite as the permanent burial site. Then Abraham and his wife Sarah are buried. Then Isaac and his wife Rebekah are buried, and there I bury Leah. It is a plot of land and cave that my grandfather Abraham brought from the Hittites. When Jacob finally finished in charge to his sons, he drew his feet into the bed, breathed at last, and joined his ancestors in death. Joseph threw himself on his father, and he went over him and kissed him. Then Joseph said to physicians who served him to embalm his father's body. So Jacob was embalmed. The embalmment process took the usual 40 days, and the Egyptians mourned his death for 70 days. When the period of mourning was over, Joseph approached Pharaoh's advisor and said, Please do me this favor and speak to the Pharaoh on my behalf. Tell them my father has made me swear an oath. He said, Listen, I am about to die. Take my body back to the land of Canaan and bury me in a tomb I prepared for myself. So please allow me to go and bury my father. After his burial, I will return without delay. Pharaoh agreed to Joseph's request. Go and bury your father as he made you promise. So Joseph went to bury his father there. He was accompanied by all of Pharaoh's officials, all the senior members of Pharaoh's household, and all the senior officers of Egypt. Joseph took his entire household and his brothers and their households, but they left their little children and flocks of herds in the land of Goshen. A great number of chariots and charioteers accompanied Joseph. When they arrived on the threshing floor of Atad near Jordan River, They held a very great and solemn memorial service with a 70-day period of mourning for Joseph's father. The local residents, the Canaanites, watched them mourning at the threshing floor of Atad. Then they renamed that place to Abel Mizraim, which means this is a place of deep mourning for the Egyptians. Interesting translation. Just one word means that. So Jacob's sons did as they were commanded. They carried his body to the land of Canaan and buried him in the cave of the field of Machpelah near Mamre. This is also the cave that Abraham had brought a permanent burial site from Ephron and Hittite. Jacob reassures his brothers. After burying Jacob, Joseph returned to Egypt with his brothers and all who had accompanied him in his father's burial. But now that their father was dead, Joseph's brothers became fearful. Now Joseph will show his anger and pay us back for the wrong we did to him, they said. So they sent the message to Joseph. Before your father died, he instructed us to say to you, please forgive your brothers, for they were wrong what they did to you, for their sin is treating you cruelly. So we, the servants of God of your father, beg you to forgive our sin. When Joseph received the message, he broke down and wept. Then his brothers came and threw themselves down before Joseph. Look, we are your slaves, they said. But Joseph replied, don't be afraid of me. Am I God that can punish you? You intended to harm me, but God intended it all for good. He brought me for this position so I could save the lives of many people. No, don't be afraid. I will continue to take care of you and your children. So he reassured them by speaking kindly to them. Joseph is like my favorite. The death of Joseph. So Joseph and his brothers and their families continued to live in Egypt. Joseph lived at the age till 110. He lived to see 3 generations of descendants of his sons Ephraim, and he lived to see the birth of children of Manasseh's son Machir, who claimed of their own. Soon I will die, Joseph said to his brother, but God will surely come to help you and lead you out of this land of Egypt. He will bring you back to the land he solemnly promised to give to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. Then Joseph made the sons of Israel swear an oath, and he said, when God comes to help you and lead you back, you must take my bones with you. So Joseph died at the age of 110. The Egyptians embalmed him, and his body was placed in the coffin in Egypt. We are currently done with all of Genesis. We're going to start Exodus tomorrow. Thank you.